Namaste. Welcome to the beginning of another live Sangha. I hope that wasn't too loud for you. I'd like to begin with the Dietary mantra again, so if you're interested in joining along with me, please do. Om Bhur-bhuvasvaha Dhatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. As we await our first guests to arrive, allow me to set the intention for this space as being a welcoming, inclusive environment to all beings, regardless of our differences. Hello Neon Jello Pack. Welcome, you are amongst the first here. I trust that those who are joining find themselves comfortable in any way which they can, taking into accommodation what they may be feeling at this moment too. Welcome Judah Girl. Hello Aquarius Lady. Namaste everyone. My best wishes to you all. My intention for this space, as always, is for us to come together as fellow students of life, to uplift each other, relate in one another's experience, and share positive sentiments. Judah Girl, you're wondering if we can talk math tonight. You got an exam tomorrow? We can talk about higher order differential equations, whether they are homogeneous or not, using infinite series expansions such as Taylor series to find the coefficients of the infinite polynomial. Everyone will fall asleep if we do that, which might be a good thing. Namaste, fallen angel. This is just how I feel today. We'll see what kind of vibe we gather tomorrow. But I'm happy you like it. You just love knowledge, dear Judah Girl. I'm happy to hear that. Knowledge is lovely. CJ, you don't like math. You say it's yucky. History and philosophy is top tier. Although philosophy can involve math. Indeed, some of the greatest philosophers in the world have also been mathematicians. Like Russell, of Russell's Paradox. I forget his first name. Great mathematicians recognize the deep philosophical value in higher mathematics too. But can we invent a new subject? I like where you're headed with that, fallen angel. Hello Assad, welcome. As our guests continue to come in, I'd like to reveal our question of the day today. Today I'm wondering, where is love the most needed? Where is love the most needed? We talk about giving our love openly to all places. Well, what is the majority of those places? Neon Jello Pack, you're wondering if I have any recommendations for someone who wants to explore philosophy. It seems so vast that you don't really know where to start. You don't really know where to start. Well, nowhere is the best place to start. If you take the word nowhere and you divide it just past the W, you get the word now, followed by the word here. So I think now and here is a good place to start. Thank you, Abel. I'll try to put on some antiperspirant. Welcome, G to Infinity. You love that, dear Rionan. Oh, I'm just having some fun with it. Heartache, you shared that you woke up from a nightmare and are now very anxious in fight or flight. Well, you are safe. The subconscious can be a scary place sometimes indeed, and that's natural. It's okay. Remind your body that you are not in danger. Think good thoughts. You are here. And hello, dear Marlin. Alright. In answer to the question of the day, Judah girl, you share that love is most needed for others. Think of yourself less, not less of yourself. What a beautiful wordplay you've put on for us. Think of myself less, not less of myself. Beautiful. Let us include everyone in our sense of self. I love that. Katrina, you shared that love is needed the most in times of struggle. Easy to love in good times. If we can love, then we can. Don't know if there was another part of that sentence that didn't fit in a TikTok comment, but even just stopping the sentence there makes sense. If we can love, then we can. Now, on one hand, you're the girl, you had shared a most beautiful point of love is most needed for others, but Isabella, you balance that with the idea that self-love is the most needed. We have to love ourselves before we can help others. I love that too. Such beautiful complementary perspectives. Jai, you simply say everywhere. Love is needed the most. Like that. Nowhere in specific. And hello, Tala Rose. I'm happy to hear that. Love is most needed everywhere, echoes Jessica to everyone. And Marlon, you share that you think we need to love our own selves more and do more self-care when we feel we need it. I can certainly see the truth in that, dear Marlon. And Judah girl, you add, giving makes you truly at peace. I love that. So many wonderful perspectives coming to the table today. I'm just going to turn down the music for me a little bit. A little loud on my end, but I imagine it's hopefully pretty quiet on your end. Anyway, we are at the end of the song anyway, sounds like. Theo, you shared that love is most needed in those that have lost confidence in themselves. A very wholesome answer that is. Thank you, Theo. And Ray, we share in ourselves too. Judah girl, you share true happiness is giving to others. I love this. You can hear me well, shares Marlon. I'm glad. Heartache, you share where entropy is taking it, hey? Entropy is pretty good at dispersing energy. isn't it? Let our love be dispersed the same. Aquarius lady, you add, in ourselves, because if we can't love ourselves, we can't love others. In Lakonen, you share that you would prefer to think where love is needed to express the most. I like the way you put that. Love is not just about its recipient, but where it comes from too. And we have a need to express our love. Neon Jello Pack, you ask an age-old question. How do we define love? You do have the mind of a philosopher, coming to the right definitions first and foremost. I think that's a wonderful question to ask. How do we define love? Except we make the assumption that love is definable. And I think love is just one of those things that can never truly have a satisfying definition. We all know it beyond words, beyond thought. Love just is. Welcome, dear Sheila. Oh, and I'm very inspired by you, Judah girl. Vertak, you share that love is to include something as yourself. You know, in that answer, I believe you have unified so many of the other answers that have come together. Love is about others, but love is also about ourselves and the relationship between. That love is to include something as yourself. Hello, dear Dansuela. You like the music? I thought I'd switch it up today a little bit. I'm happy you noticed. Alright. I am going to pause our inquiry into the question of the day there for now. So, thank you for exploring this with me. Namaste. I like your question, Asad. Can you define love? Indeed. Can you? Hello, Dob Darker. Thank you for your heart, me too. Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. And hello, Robert. Neon, you are wondering, how would I answer? Where is love most needed? Love is most needed where there is room for it to blossom. Love is most needed in a fertile soil bed where flowers can grow. Love is most needed in the place where there is potential. Some beautiful thing to unfold before our eyes. Love is the consent that the universe gives us the opportunity to provide in order to watch it grow. And Child of Spirit, if you're wondering what song this is called, this song is, what is the name of this? Vedic Traditional Music for Study. Welcome, dear Logan. Sounds like you've experienced a lot, and I hope that you find healing on your journey. Much love to you, my friend. Now, I thank you all for exploring this question of the day together. I would like to read from another section of The Hidden Power in Humans together. In this book, we've been going through chakras and kundalini, the yogic view of energy centers within the body. We've come to the ends of the Vishuddhi chakra, which is the throat center, which of course is associated with things such as speech, purification, self-expression. At the end of each chapter, we have some exercises and meditations for each chakra. So I'm just going to read through 3 different meditations for the Vishuddhi chakra. Just reading probably won't translate to a meditation, so don't feel like you have to meditate at the speed at which I'm reading. This is for completion, and I'll upload the recording of this clip to my YouTube channel where people can replay different parts. But I'll try to go through each meditation with a slow pace so that you can kind of go through the motions, and if something sticks with you, then you can deepen that practice another time. So without further ado, here are some meditations with specific influence on the Vishuddhi chakra. The first meditation we can do is to sit comfortably and erect, straight back, and relax your body. If you are unable to sit comfortably on the floor, then sit in a chair. Close your eyes. Feel yourself happy, relaxed, and free. Inhale and exhale deeply a few times. And through this, deepen the relaxation more and more. Do not concentrate. Remain without imagination. Be conscious only of yourself and say to yourself, I want to relax completely. Relax the jaw, the lips, eyelids, forehead and cheeks. Try to relax your face muscles completely. Relax the shoulders, arms and hands. Relax the back muscles, abdominal muscles, legs and feet. Relax the whole body from the toes to the head, and from the head to the toes. Now direct your attention to the center of your chest, the Anahata chakra, the heart. Remain completely relaxed. Analyze your thoughts without condemning anything. Be totally conscious of your thoughts. Observe the coming and going. Push nothing away and hold on to nothing. Relax the whole body. Relax. Relax. Now direct your consciousness to the process of breathing. Feel the breath flowing in and out. Allow your breath to flow freely. Now place the index and middle fingers of the right hand at the base of the throat between the collarbones. With this, do not exert any pressure. If the arm becomes tired, you can change hands. Relax the head and neck. Do not look upward behind your closed eyes. Rather, look slightly down, as if you were reading a book. Remain completely quiet. without expectations. Merely observe and let come what comes. Breathe a little deeper than normal and observe your breathing. Feel the warmth of your fingers and the whole body. Now immerse yourself in your inner space and visualize your present life up until now as if it were a film running. Be honest and follow mentally the course of events. Each image, each recollection should arouse exactly the same feeling as when you actually experienced the situation. This exercise arouses painful but also beautiful feelings within us. Allow it to be as it is and simply observe everything. Go as far back as you can remember. Generally, the negative experiences rise first into the consciousness. Continue on, unwaveringly. Remember, feel, and experience the pain, disappointments, and fears of that time again with full consciousness. From what have you suffered? Today, yesterday, the day before yesterday, last week, over the last month. You can either go backwards from the present time into the past, or progress from your childhood up to the present day. Many insignificant events pass through the mind, but suddenly there is a point at which you falter. Stay there, with full awareness, and dive deeper. Experience the events again clearly. Feel that you are not alone. The divine and your spiritual teacher are there and hold your hand. Do not be afraid. You are protected and accompanied. Go deeply within and experience that which you have suffered, that from which you have suffered. After you have performed this exercise for about 15 minutes, place your hands on your knees, bend forward slightly, and press the chin against the sternum. This is called Jalandhara Bandha. Feel the breath flowing through your throat. Return your consciousness to the experience you have been dealing with. With the inhalation, imagine that you received that which you needed at that time. Care, comfort, help, love. With the exhalation, release everything that caused you pain at that time. Exhale the dark and painful memories, and inhale light, happiness, and liberating feelings. Release the painful experiences, because to give freedom means to attain freedom. Perform this exercise for about 15 minutes. Then slowly raise the head and remain sitting relaxed. Let the practice continue to have an effect, and observe your inner world. Time has passed, but the feelings and injuries from earlier times are still always deep within you. Hold nothing back. Look within yourself without fear. Try to understand your life. Why was I born? What should I achieve in this life? What is my life's work, my dharma? Through concentration on the Vishuddhi Chakra, the answers to these questions open for you. That was the end of meditation 1. Next time we'll read the next 2 meditations. May you have gotten anything from the description of these meditations. Namaste. Thank you for listening. And we'll pause our reading of the hidden power in humans there for now. Hello, brave fella. My night has been well. Thank you for asking. Hello to those who joined while we were reading. Dear Mikey, nice to have you here again. The room to breathe. Jai Paramahansa Yogananda. Hello, Viri. Welcome. And thank you, Pine, for your your heart me and team bracelet that you sent as we began. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And James, thank you for your heart me and your balloons. Om Param Bhairvaya Namo Namaha. Namra, thank you for your hand hearts too. Allow me to offer some back to you. Hari Om Tat Sat. Diana, thank you for your heart me and team bracelet. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hello, Anazek. I'm happy you enjoyed that reading, Dansuela. Hello, Haley. And hello, Alicia. Welcome again. Hello, 5678 Dance 678. Melissa, you're wondering if I've read I Am That by Nisargadatta Maharaj. I have not, but many have been asking about it lately, so one day I shall. And Isabella, thank you for your team bracelet, your heart me and your cheer you up. Jai Sitaram. Oh, that's quite alright, Lenny. You missed the reading, but there is no issue with that. It was a meditation on the Vishuddhi Chakra. Crystal, you shared that you fell asleep listening to me last night. Well, I'm happy to know that this space is comfortable enough to be vulnerable in. Sleep is a very vulnerable time. Our ancestors wouldn't sleep if there was any possibility of a lion in the bushes or a wildfire approaching. So, good to feel safe in order to fall asleep. I am that is a mantra in Sanskrit. Soham. And we can time it with our breath. Every breath can be a conscious breath. So on the inhale, hum on the exhale. If you listen closely, the breath already speaks Sanskrit. On the inhale, you can hear your lungs, your throat say the word so. On the exhale, you can hear it say It means I am that I am. With each breath, our body says a mantra. I am that I am. Yam is the Sandman, shares G to infinity. Oh, that reminds me, I need to fill my pockets with sand again. I've ran out of pocket sand in a while. Hello, Nia. Om Namah Nia. Salutations, Nia. Wonder how we'd transform your name into the dative form in Sanskrit. I think a feminine name that ends in a, it becomes aye. So it would become Om Namah Nia Ye. That would mean salutations to Nia, rather than just salutations, Nia. Marlon, you also fell asleep last night. Well, we did go very late last night. I don't blame anyone for falling asleep. Crystal, you're wondering, what's pocket sand? You know, it's sand you keep in your pocket, in case you ever need some sand. Om Shanti. Om. The track we're listening to, G to Infinity, is called Vedic Traditional Music for Study. Thank you, dear Haley, for your pair of roses a few minutes ago. Hari Om Tat Sat. And Melissa, thank you for your pair of roses also. Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. And Isabella, thank you for your fire. Hari Om. Life is a mystery for me, dear Lenny. You were also wondering how I learned Sanskrit. Sanskrit is a very natural language. It has beautiful structures that make it easy to learn. So, probably one of the easiest language to be self-taught, since it teaches you how to speak it. If that sounds too good to be true, too miraculous, well, you're in for quite the miracle learning Sanskrit. I would start with the soundscape. I would learn the set of all possible sounds in Sanskrit. It's actually very easy. In Sanskrit, there is just a table that's highly structured with 5 places of articulation and 8 different combinations of qualities. The 5 places of articulation are our velar region at the back of the throat, our hard palate, our soft palate, our teeth, and our lips. We can make a sound in any of these places. Back in the throat, we could say ka. In the palate, we say cha. Retroflex, the hard palate, ta. At our teeth, ta. And our lips, pa. And in each one of these 5 places, there are 8 different ways of producing a sound there, corresponding to 3 different qualities in different combinations. 2 to the power of 3 makes 8. The 3 qualities that we can exercise at each point is occlusion, whether we completely obstruct the vocal path, that is making a stop, restricting the airflow like ka. We can aspirate it as well, adding breath to it, ka. And we can voice it too, ga. So we can have different combinations of those. All 3 together makes ga. But if we took away the aspiration, it would become ga. If we took away the pulmonation, the occlusion, then it would just be a. Or or if we shifted to another place in our mouth to make the same quality of sound, like our lips, we'd make ooh. That'd be a voiced sound there without any occlusion or aspiration. You can explore the whole sound space just by thinking of 5 places of articulation and 3 different combinations. And this corresponds to the 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, and earth, and the 3 energies which animate those 5 elements: passion, darkness, or purity. So the sound space in Sanskrit corresponds to the Cartesian product between the 5 elements and all combinations of energies which can animate those elements. Which means that we can render Sanskrit in terms of an equation. Sanskrit is the Cartesian product between 5 places of articulation and combinations of qualities. The 5 places of articulation being our guttural region, palatal, retroflex, dental, and labial, and our qualities being all combinations of fulmination, voicing, or aspiration, along with a very special and unique sound that I didn't mention, which is nasalization. We have a better form of that. Altogether, there are 5 times 2 to the 3 sounds in this sound space of Sanskrit. So, if you keep your eye out for symmetries, for structures, for deep relationships between our sound and the universe which it conveys, you will find Sanskrit teaching you. That's right, that's the small version of my whiteboard, G to infinity. I'm happy you like the bandana hobo circus. Danger, you share that as a speech pathology major. That's so interesting, seeing the relations. Oh, I very much recommend even a little bit of Sanskrit knowledge, as I'm sure that would really enliven your studies. There's an intimate connection between sound and meaning, which we have lost. In modern times, the sound of a word pretty much has nothing to do with the meaning of the word, rather than just convention. But there is a whole metaphor, a whole play happening in our mouth and our vocal box as we dance between different elements and qualities. And many early words were instructed based on the metaphor that happens in the mouth. For example, you'll find words that have the sound k in it, the guttural, unvoiced plosive. You'll find that word in a lot of places that are related to possessiveness, to mastery, to creation, to action. Whereas the voiced variant, ga, you'll find in places relating to contact, motion, action upon. There's a whole beautiful set of meanings associated just with individual sounds. And they come together to form the roots of many ancient words. Oh, welcome, dear Lenny. The beautiful language. One that has stolen my heart. I would never have expected for me to find reverence for a language. The same kind of reverence that you'd have religiously. That I see it as a form of divinity. One that we get to participate in. And I'm honored in that way. Dear Talon, you shared day 2 of non-smoking. And you are glad that I am on tonight. Perhaps you will go to sleep. It's possible. Think in terms of moments. Can you make through this moment without smoking? You just did. That's a success. Now can you make it through this moment? You just did. Each moment by itself is so easy to get through. But when we expand our sense of time to include how many possible moments we would have to go through, then we don't feel like we can do it. But the good news is we don't have to go through 100 moments, 1,000 moments, 1,000,000 moments. There's just one moment. All we ever have to get through. Abel, you're wondering if I think I'm Ganesha reincarnate. Well, I'd be wondering where my elephant head is then. I think that'd be pretty cool. Unfortunately, I don't have an elephant head. Or maybe fortunately. I don't know. But, Ganesha, I have so much reverence for. If I saw myself as equal with Ganesha, then how could I learn from him? I must look up to him. I see myself as no one, really. Good memory, dear Jessica. That is just like the clockmaker story. Yes. Someone in chat shares that I still scare them. Woo. I'm here to provoke you. Little man. You share that I'm a funky person, you like me. You also be funky. It's good. I think funk is a natural quality of us humans. I think if aliens ever came to Earth, the first thing they'd have to accommodate is our funk. They'd have to get their funk on to be able to have any sort of hope for connection. you know? Thank you, dear Gandalf, for your whipped coffee. May this bring me enough energy to bring the ring all the way into Mordor. Hello, Red Fractal. Peanut Puffs. You ask, how can you best align your mind and your heart? The things you perceive with the things you feel. There's always two layers of reality happening at any moment. There's the way things are. We call that the world. And then there's the way things could be. We call that heaven. If you are able to see past the way things are and peer into what's higher, light that shines through this dark world, that which you feel as a reflection of what's deep within, then we begin to bring heaven to this world. This world is like a canvas. What we perceive in it is a reflection of what we have to give it. You take an artist and you give her a canvas. To you and I, it might seem like just blank emptiness. But if you look a little further, there's something more to see. In fact, there is so much more to see, infinitely more to see than what exists as it is. It is ripe for creation, to bring something new into the picture, to portray something which can only be seen when we know it to be a mirror of our heart. Let us let our heart shine and reflect in the canvas of the world, and utilize our mind to choose the brushstrokes which become conducive to painting in the picture of life we wish to see. It is said that our mind is actually located in our heart. You may notice that when we truly exercise the full extent of our minds, we always speak from here, that we relay our deepest thoughts from the heart. In all cultures, at all times around the world, when a genuine thought becomes born into this world, we cover our heart to feel where it has come from. Thank you, dear James, for your subscription too. I'm only honored to have this space where I get to have such beautiful souls such as you. Thank you, dear David, for your 14 roses as well. Om Namah Shakti Shivaya. Thank you for your blessings, dear Barry. And thank you, Sinerius. You'll have to tell me if there's a way in which I can pronounce your name better. Thank you, David's mom, for another 51 roses too. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hello, Sadik. Got the right account. Namaste, Brennan. Miranda, you paint all of your emotions, and just how beautiful they all are together. In order to paint a painting, we must have some contrast. Contrast in hue, in saturation, and in value. When it comes to our emotions, all the different kinds are like the different colors. The intensity is like the value. The saturation is how willing we are to experience that feeling at that moment. How saturated it is with our awareness. I do see that message that came through David's mom. If there are other messages, maybe I can scroll up to see, but I had not seen them. Sometimes there are terms that for some reason get prevented from displaying, but I don't get to decide those things. The TikTok gods do. Unfortunately. Dear Sarah, thank you for your kuntet of roses too. Hare Krishna. Good evening, Monday. And Marlon, you shared that your younger sister-in-law loves to paint and she's so talented. I love that you find value in something important to her, and you see how much she can express through that of herself. And you're wondering, do I believe in hyperdimensional entities? Well, how many dimensions are we speaking? We're at least 3-dimensional. In space. Adding time to that, we're 4. Some of our senses are higher dimensional, like our eyesight. We were talking a moment ago of the 3 dimensions of color. Hue, saturation, and value. We require these 3 independent directions in order to express all the colors. These are the chromatic dimensions. Our eyesight, each retina is like a 2-dimensional plane. While it's curved, it's not a plane, like a hemisphere. So each image on the eye corresponds to 2 spatial dimensions and 3 chromatic dimensions, altogether making vision in each eye a 5-dimensional experience. If you count a depth as truly something humans possess too, then that would add a 6th dimension to our eyesight, a 3rd spatial dimension. David's mom, you share that you are stressed and overwhelmed. Can I help? In any way I can be there for you. I can do my best. I can remind you that if you're overwhelmed, that's natural. And we can understimulate by bringing ourselves into a darker environment, quieter environment, a scent-free environment. If we need to change our clothing too. Humans are very sensitive creatures. We sometimes don't realize that we may be overwhelmed by the simplest of sensation. It being too hot or too cold, our clothing being too coarse, or something in our environment being too loud. We can remind the body that it's in a space where it doesn't have to keep track of all of the different moving parts. No need to analyze each aspect of our life in this moment. For you, you share that your kitty and your son are sick. That does sound very stressful, especially when you have to consider all your responsibilities, how you can take care of them, whilst also not running yourself empty. A parent always wishes for the health of their dependents. But the health is also not something that you create. It's something that you provide a space to heal in. The healing is done by the body, by the mind of those people which we take care of. Therefore, we have trust that as long as we provide them with the environment for them to get better, love and care and attention, and they will. Bodies are always going to have these low moments, and it doesn't reflect poorly on you as a parent for having a sick kid. You still get to be as vibrant of a parent as you can, even if in this moment they are in pain. It's okay. Your best is enough. We may stress about the outcomes, what may or may not happen. But a lot of that is just our fear, our imagination, thinking of the worst that could happen. We don't have to deal with the worst. All we have to do is accommodate what's in this moment. And I imagine that if in this moment you have the freedom to be on a TikTok live, then this must be a relatively peaceful moment for you. You're not rushing to get anyone to the hospital or make sure that her heart is beating, her lungs are breathing. In this moment, you can catch your breath, remind yourself that you're doing as much as you can, given the knowledge and experience that you have. Everyone is asleep, and your mind is not. It's only natural. My mom does that too. Even if myself and my sister are sound asleep. My mom will be thinking about whether I've been getting enough food, if I'm losing weight, if I'm healthy, what I do tomorrow to ensure I get enough sunlight. But you know, sleep is that time where you don't have to be a mother. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, you have to fulfill the role that is given to you indeed. But even while asleep, we can give ourselves that break that we need. And that role that we have been playing dissolves into oneness. We all become the same in deep sleep. In deep sleep, we're neither male nor female, young nor old, neither baker nor doctor. We simply are as we are. And that's given to you. If you have done everything that you can today, then your mind has fulfilled its role, its purpose. Now it's time to bring yourself inward so that you may heal yourself from the things you're going through and be able to be rejuvenated for the day ahead tomorrow. And thank you, JV, for your finger heart. There's one for you too. Kring Kalikai Namaha. You're very welcome. And James, thank you for your balloons too. Om Namah Shivaya. Namaste Loopy Lane. Namaste Greg RG. Good night, dear Neon Jello Pack. Audrey Lynn, you share that every time that you catch a live of mine, I'm saying things you need to hear. I trust the universe to be able to bring those to hear what they need to hear at this moment. Dr. Richard Feynman, he was a particle physicist, one of the most prolific. In his doctoral thesis, according to laws of quantum mechanics, he was able to deduce that the reason particle interactions happen is to deliver some information from one part of the universe to another. Every particle is made up of energy, and energy fundamentally is some form of information. And the combination of energy tells a story. With that, a beautiful corollary, I think it's the word, or corollary? Anyway, consequence of his theorem was that since information must be conserved, then any particle that was released is already destined to get to its destination. Corollary. And that has some beautiful implications, both physically and philosophically. Physically speaking, it means that there is no lost light. For example, all light that is shone, even into the black of night, must eventually reach where it was headed. Philosophically, it means that all information gets to where it needs to go. This is physics. Physics is the dance of energy, the dance of information. We're a part of that in our bodies and our minds too. All the information a part of our life, our existence, it has come from a place that guaranteed it would deliver itself to us. Therefore, everything that we have learned has come our way for a reason. How big or how small? Diana, with that you trust the divine intelligent universe to deliver the messages and experiences that you need to know We could call it the divine universal intelligence. That would make the other kind of DUI. So if anyone asks you if you have DUI, you can say divine universal intelligence? Well, of course. Yeah. Lots of that. Dating and relationship, you ask. Am I influenced by Krishna? Indeed. You know, the definition of this word, Krishna, well, the philosophical definition, literally it means black. Still to this day, I think Krishna is the adjective for black in Hindi, for example. However, that blackness refers to something very deep, kind of shunyata, emptiness, a kind of void, a kind of Nirguna, formless Brahman, ultimate reality, a spacious presence through absence. Philosophical definition is that one being which forcibly attracts the minds of great spiritual seekers. Krishna, the abyss. And welcome, dear Alejandro. Namaste. Thank you, Michael. Sadik, you share that your friend had his own gravitational model where he could explain gravity with data alone. It's very interesting. Sounds like a conversation to have with a physicist. But when I was a student, I was very interested in alternative theories to gravity, which could explain some of the data, like the distribution of matter in galaxies, dark matter. Thank you, dear Loopy Lane, for your hanging lights. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sadik, you had also shared that we've always seen parallels with the way we treat love and information. We kind of started using them interchangeably, and I love that information you've shared with me. Both love and information, what do they have in common? Understanding. Through understanding, love and information are one. Regarji, you share. So Krishna is like the night sky. You know, they call Krishna the great attractor. And scientists call something that out in space the center of Laniakea, our supercluster of galaxies. And our whole universe seems to be a little biased too in the direction that things are moving. Ideally, one should expect that our universe has galaxies going in all directions equally. But some have pointed to something anomalous outside of our universe, which everything in the universe is being pulled towards. And they call that dark flow. Maybe Krishna is that dark flow. But it will never cease to amaze me how many ancient ideas align with modern scientific conclusions. Tzaddik, you share that when you love someone, your brain wants to know more about them or keep active thoughts of them. And the more you know about people, the more you love them. I love that connection. Hello, dear Macy. Welcome. Maybe indeed, Craig RG. Maybe indeed. Understanding and connection. I love that connection too. That understanding, dear Diana, of love and information. One of the biggest turning points in my life has been finding connections rather than differences. And by connections, I mean the ways in which things are one. We're always asking, what's the difference between this and that? We're trying to find justification for the diversity of things in the form of differences. But what if the justification was not due to some independent existence, but an interdependent one? Like the word that Don Suela used yesterday, I liked. How can we find the unity amidst our diversity? The ways in which we are not only similar, but the same. How can we find the unity between different philosophies, different religions, different theories or ideologies? One thing's clear, we're not going to find agreement by looking for the differences. Agreement must start in common ground. That is why we call it an agreement. And when we look for what is the same amidst the diversity, then life no longer becomes a matter of blind faith. We don't have to choose who is right and who is wrong, because we see what's true everywhere. And something that is true, that can be found everywhere, that by definition is universal. And there need not be blind faith in that which is universal, because you know it to be true by definition. Deanna, you shared that a neighbor cut down a tree that still had a couple of green branches on it. You cried because it was still containing life. I love how much empathy you have for life. I know that some trees survive through propagating its branches, putting them in water until they grow roots, and then sticking them in the earth. Maybe we could ask for a branch. Thank you, dear Loopy Lane, for your hanging lights. Did I thank you for that? I think I did. Anyway, you continue to light up my life. Danizak, you shared that you got sick yesterday and you're taking antibiotics, but you stopped by to say hello and you wished me a pleasant night. That's very sweet of you. Thank you, Anazek. All my best wishes to you too. And I hope that your body and mind get the care that it needs during this time. And Gregor G, you share for propagation. You can cover the little branch with resin on the bottom to heal its wound and use fertilizer. I like that, yeah. And I've heard that making a little bit of a greenhouse can help too. If it's really small, you can put a plastic bag over it. I've been doing that with the tulasi cuttings that I've accidentally broken off. Hello, dear Brittany. I'm very happy to be here. Welcome, Ashley. I hope you enjoy your stay here. You could feel the pain caused, Diana. You have such an open heart. I think that's wonderful. Now, this is a good moment to do a short reading, I think. So, why don't we pop open the pocket Pema Chödrön again? I think that she is one of the wisest women in the world, as I've been saying for months now. And we can learn from another of her teachings together. They are very short, often just a few sentences. The one that we're reading today is number 78. So let's find that. Thank you, Rizzy. Hello, Zoltan. Hello, Stephen. Davey, you share that you missed it. Yippee! Still possible. I'm happy you like the vibe here, user 148. And good evening, Lala Michelle. I am well, thank you. Okay. This passage from the Pocket Pema Chödrön, number 78, is called Holding On Causes Suffering. Let's dive into it. When we feel inadequate and unworthy, we hoard things. We are so afraid of losing, afraid of feeling even more poverty-stricken than we do already. The stinginess is extremely sad. We could look into it and shed a tear that we grasp and cling so fearfully. This holding on causes us to suffer greatly. We wish for comfort, but instead we reinforce aversion, the sense of sin, and the feeling that we are a hopeless cause. A hopeless case, rather. The causes of aggression and fear begin to dissolve by themselves when we move past the poverty of holding back. Thank you for listening. That was number 78. Holding on causes suffering. And letting go is so liberating. when we realize that we no longer need any handholds, any footholds, any mind holds. When we find our wings, we can be free without any tether. Namaste. But remember that no one succeeded merely by telling themselves to let go. Life would be so much easier if that were the case. I let go. Matter solved. It's a process. And we can forgive ourselves for being in the middle of that process yet. Thank you, JV, for your trio of finger hearts. Om Namah Shakti Shivaya. Brave Bella, thank you for your finger heart too. Here's one for your bravery. Om Dum Durgai Namaha. And Peter Schaefer, thank you for your rose. Om Shanti 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 Om. Thank you, dear Anna, for the cloud bread that you offered too. Jai Satchitananda Om. Thank you for your good night wishes, Jessica. May you have a wonderful rest of your sleep. May you fall asleep in peace. May you wake up in peace. I'm happy the reading made you smile, dear JV. MSG, you share that the Developy download isn't working. You're referring to the font in my link in my bio isn't working as it's raw code. I may want to check it out in my link tree. Alright, I shall. Thank you for telling me. The file itself is indeed raw code. It's something that must be installed on your device, and different devices use different font formats. If you're trying to download it on an iPhone, it's probably not going to work like that. But I know that from a Windows computer it does work. It's a true type font, and if the operating system you're using supports true type fonts, then all that should be required is to place that true type font into the same folder where other system fonts are kept as well. But yeah, the file itself, if you open it up, it should just be just raw code. As per any font file. Thank you, dear Renvox, for your ice cream. Hariom Tat Sat. I'm happy you like the style of music here, Peter. Welcome, iHeartMatcha.com and your lovely dog. Davey, you ask, why could healing feel scary? Healing can feel scary because healing requires being vulnerable again And the last time we were vulnerable, we got hurt. That's why we have something to heal from. But if we don't let a doctor address our wounds, if we keep them guarded, hidden from the world, then we also will be unable to receive the medicine, to receive the treatment too. By analogy also, we have to be vulnerable to allow ourselves to heal for emotional wounds, mental trauma too. That means having trust again, having courage. And thank you, Natasha, for the rose you sent too. Om Kringalinkai Namaha. Thank you, JV, for your heart meat and your finger heart. Radhe, Radhe. One of the simplest means of becoming present again is the attitude of gratitude. Pardon me. In gratitude, we begin to point out things that we feel allowed to be a part of in relation to in this moment. And that can bring us a sense of relief, a sense of relaxation. Hello, Enchantress Theodora. You found some prayer beads. Oh, lovely. Good to have in any yogi or yogini's toolbox. Katura, hello. You were wondering how we can protect ourselves from high 5G radiation. It's a genuine concern, since we are electromagnetic beings in many ways. Our heart is very sensitive to magnetic fields, to electricity. It does not take a lot to make us go into cardiac arrest. And our brain, our nervous system, of course, is always firing. The flow of potassium and sodium ions creating voltage differentials on our body. Our body uses electricity and magnetism to deliver information and receive information too. Our eyes receive electromagnetic radiation in the form of visible light, and that gets converted into optic signals. It's beautiful how our body makes use of this. And when we did move from the 4th generation of cell towers to the 5th generation, there was some concern that the increased strength and frequencies of those energies might interfere with us. Fortunately, there doesn't seem to be any real concern. We are always surrounded by radiation, and it's kind of a scary sounding word, radiation, but radiation is something that has always been around us in the form of cosmic radiation, which is much more powerful than anything that we've created on Earth too. Even in the Large Hadron Collider, which has how many tera electron volts of energy, the universe has been bombarding us with higher energy levels for billions of years. Our bodies are very resilient, and modern medical science shows that there does not appear to be any harm in that. So I would not worry. The kind of radiation that you do have to worry about is ionizing radiation. That's the kind that can change our genetic code and cause things like birth defects or cancer. That's the kind of radiation that you'd find in Chernobyl, for example, as Ryan shares. Or being in sunlight for too long, ultraviolet rays, that, as we know, can cause skin cancer, and tanning beds too, as well. So, as long as you are applying sunscreen, being safe, not going into any radioactive contaminated site, you are okay, free from that kind of danger. Thank you, dear Meh It's Pidge, for your heart me too. Ariom Tatsat. And Ricky Bobby, thank you for your heart me too. Jai Sitaram. If it is a point of anxiety, then there is something called a Faraday cage, which genuinely does block out even radio waves. That's why, for example, don't try this, but if you put your phone in the microwave, don't turn it on, but if you phone it, it probably won't pick up, because the microwave has a Faraday cage around it to block low wavelength energy. Or you could move somewhere where there's no cell service, but there are other ways of attending to our anxiety. And hello, dear Jane, welcome. Jessica, you shared that your partner is pulling away. How can you navigate this heartache with grace? What a beautiful question. I'm very sorry to hear that. That's heartbreaking. No one wants to see someone that they have so much love for become less receptive to the love that we have. The love that we have is something very precious, and having given that to someone and seen the genuine happiness that we can share together, oh, it's so pure. We grieve every time that we start generating love for someone, for something, and then we have to adjust how to express that love. Of course, we grieve, and that grief is a kind of transformation that we go through to direct our love to other places again, or in other ways. But the most gracious thing you can do for someone that is pulling away is to give them the space that they seem to want. And who knows? Maybe giving them that space, they might realize that they don't actually want to be away from your love. But one thing's for certain, if we do force our love on anyone, there's a high chance that that'll just increase the kind of walls that they may put up, the necessity for them in between us. And for the sake of not crossing boundaries, we can respect the ones that they seem to be heading in the direction of what putting up for us. So grace means that we provide space through our humility, that we love and trust their judgment, and we truly want the best for them, their happiness, and we give them the benefit of discovering how to find that happiness. And there's no way of that happening without pain. There is going to be heartbreak, no doubt, for everyone. And we can handle that with grace too, by allowing ourselves time to grieve too. Namaskar, Katura. Katura ji. Since you use such a lovely term of endearment. And Deanna, you share that when we provide the environment of healthy, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, our bodies can heal. I like that. Of course, dear Jessica. BG, too easy. You're wondering if I have tips for entering Jhana. Yes, these are absorptions, levels of meditation. I think they're kind of binary. That we begin by feeling pain as a mark of existence. It is our natural state to experience dukkha, suffering. As we meditate, we begin to cultivate a pleasurable feeling. And so we feel both in pain and in pleasure. And as we go deeper, the pain drops away and we just feel the pleasure. And then finally, even the pleasure drops away and we're left with pure, spacious presence. I remember trying to dive deep into the jhanas many years ago. And as my meditative practice, I would imagine creating an equilibrium of sensation throughout the body. The way it was described to me is, imagine an ethereal body of soap that's able to clean the outside and the inside of your body. And you wash that soap everywhere, through each finger, through each arm, through each leg, in our heart, in our lungs, in our organs, in our throat, in our face, in our brain. Just cultivate a homogeneous field of spacious presence in our body. And we begin to drop into that sensation. And you might even feel that drop because the brain thinks that it's going to die, but it's not true. It's the same kind of sensation of dropping into sleep. Sometimes the body rebounds and it becomes put into fight or flight. But if you just drop, something very peaceful awaits. Excellent. You're wondering if I can define enlightenment. I like that question. Enlightenment being referred to by various things. There's an equivalent of it in almost every spiritual tradition. Some other English words are self-realization, or God-realization, or spiritual transcendence, liberation, illumination. Some Sanskrit terms include mukti, moksha, nirvana, But what is the exact definition of these words? It's very difficult to practically put into terms. Why? Because the moment that we do, if our goal is to achieve enlightenment, then we'll be thinking about the definition given to us. The problem with that is that a definition by itself can never break us into a space beyond suffering. Because it's just more limitation, a definition. So in some sense we kind of have to keep it definitionless, that the true state cannot definitively be described by any terms. Just like it is said in the Tao Te Ching, the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. Words came from the womb of matter long after the beginning of heaven and earth. But if names be needed, wonder names them both. The surface of life and the deep abyss. But we are just describing it in terms of negation. What if we tried to use some positive terms? Enlightenment is a beautiful positive term by itself, because enlightenment means to bring light in. This is a word in contrast to darkness, which, of course, in tandem represents states of ignorance or realization. A state with knowledge and a state without. Enlightenment is to have the knowledge, the realization of your true nature. And that is achieved by dissolving the ignorance of what we're not. We are not our body. We are not our mind. We are not our feelings. We are not even our thoughts or actions. We are certainly not the way people look at us, and we are not even the way we think of ourselves. But the process of enlightenment is a long journey, one that takes many lifetimes, one that I am surely going to continue to embark on myself for eternity. Just when you think you're free from some form of ignorance, as Ram Dass says, just stay with your parents for a day. You'll realize how enlightened you really are. Something creeps up and there's still more work to do. Thank you, Isabella, for your finger heart earlier. Om Mani Padme Hum. And Nick, thank you for your applause. I give you some claps. And thank you, Vixolent, for your hand hearts and heart me too. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Dear Marlon, you ask, is there not a spiritual awakening going on this year since January? I am sure that there are ways in which this is true. Absolutely. And if you feel the truth in that, then who am I to invalidate your experience? From my experience, this is not the way I look at things. I don't consider a spiritual awakening as having took place from any point of time to another. I keep it timeless. Spiritual awakening is an infinite journey that this whole world has been on, and each of our beings that inhabit it too. Is there a spiritual awakening happening in this moment? The answer is yes. Life is nothing but a spiritual awakening, happening in gradual stages of unfolding. Julia, you were wondering who said this? Well, unfortunately, I lack the context of what we were referring to at that moment. Perhaps you can remind me. Thank you, Strawberry Star Bunny, for your fire. I felt like growling for some reason there. Yes, dear BG Too Easy, you're welcome to share your Jhana question. But I will also say that I am very unexperienced in the jhanas. So kinds of meditations that I am more familiar with, I would be happy to help you out with them. But jhanas, I had some vague familiarity with when I started meditating consciously. But my awareness has since become dispersed in other ways. I'm on fire today, shares Strawberry Star Bunny. Well, I hope to ignite the fire in all of our hearts. Elmo-G, you shared that even if we become fully realized, if nirvana and samsara are truly one, perhaps our enlightened selves are afraid of the idea of being ignorant to more human experiences. Thus we leave nirvana for more playtime on Earth realm. Yes, I like that. Dear Andrea, thank you for your cake too. Thank you, BG Too Easy. That's very kind of you for seeing the potential that exists within me. I see the same in you also. Marcy, I'm glad you love the music. We're listening to Vedic traditional instrumental for study, I believe. I'm happy you love that too, Sadiq. Marlon, you share that the quote, "The stars would fall from the sky," meaning that the veil would fall, Hollywood. Oh, that's a very symbolic interpretation. I like that. That's fun. Yeah, it's true. In our society, we do look up to our stars, our celebrities as role models, which they are in many ways. The ability to put on a performance is something deeply part of our human nature. And they do such a good job at that. At the same time, the role that they fulfill might extend past their occupation, their job. Actors, actresses, singers, songwriters, people in pop culture, they also are simply fulfilling their job, and yet people look up to them for spiritual guidance. Whereas perhaps in other cultures or other times, the same kind of personality would be fulfilled by someone who would give you spiritual transcendence, liberation through the transmission of ancient teaching. They were the stars that illumined the darkness of our night of the soul. And in an absence of that, I think we look up to pop culture icons, and it seems as though that in recent times our awareness has been shifting to find value in other places. Hugo Melos, if I pronounce your name right, you ask, what's my most common or frequent emotion? Can I say all of them? Joy frequents me, sadness frequents me, frustration frequents me, fear frequents me, guilt frequents me. Before me is a carousel, a house of dancing emotions. They come and go, all of them so. Thank you, dear Moonflower Magic, for your heart me. Hare Om Tat Sat. Sadik, you ask, what angers me most? How do I deal with it? Ultimately, the limitations that I submit myself to anger me most. I just don't realize it. And if ever I get angry for something external, that's a mistake of mine. No matter what circumstances prevail, I am always trying to be more patient, more compassionate. If anger arises, it must be because of something within. And that's something I have to continue working on. And if I keep bringing myself back to what it could be on the inside, part of myself that I'm struggling to accept or embrace or make friends with, then I can continue to befriend this misunderstood feeling that we call anger. Deanna, you share that you believe that everything and no thing is Great Spirit or Divine Intelligence expressing. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, dear Diana. What you have described is called in Sanskrit as Saguna and Nirguna Brahman. Brahman referring to spirit or divine intelligence. Nothing being the Nirguna, the aspect of it without quality. The space, the womb, and everything being the Saguna with quality. The expression has miraculously arisen within that space. Hobbit. I don't know who Sean is. So I'm not sure if I can answer this question. But you had asked Sean what their opinion is on global warming. If I am Sean, then I recognize that it's not a matter of my opinion. To have an opinion means that you've experienced it. I certainly have not experienced all the data that scientists have through many decades now of gathering data points. And because of that, we have to rely on their informed opinion, which is that the world is heating up generally, but also causing other climate catastrophes that are generally called climate change. Coral reefs are dying. The world is becoming deforested. Oceans are rising. Ice caps are melting. Extreme weather becomes more and more frequent. Droughts are more common. We are on the precipice. We are at the beginning of one of the largest mass extinction events in human history, which is very scary, very frightening. We love our Mother Earth. We don't want her to die, or at the very least, we don't want her to fry us off this wonderful planet. So it's good to be mindful of the ways in which we can heal her, bring back love, help our plant and animal companions, serve the ecosystems, the habitats that have been taken away from these great, beautiful beings. And that brings us purpose too. It gives us meaning to be able to give back to Mother Earth, since she's given us everything. She's given us our body, all the resources that make up each cell and each part of our home. Everything that we have created has come from her. And at some point we have to give it all back to her too, at least in the form of our body. Since we can't take anything with us, we have to leave everything behind. The question of each and every one of our lives is, what do we want to leave behind? What kind of world would we like to leave? Thank you, Moonflower Magic, for your heart me earlier. Hari Om Tat Sat. Pipe, you had asked, when did I become spiritual? Oh, remember, we are spiritual beings having a human experience, rather than humans having a spiritual experience. No one becomes spiritual, we only become human. But the spirit has always been there. We just might begin to notice it after a while, in the same way that we know we don't see the wind, but we see the effect it has on the flag. We see it on the trees, on the grass. We see the movement of these things. And we know that that movement cannot have come from just what we see. There must be some other factor. So by inference, you recognize the reality of wind. So 111, happy to have you here, and Evelise, if I pronounce your name right. Lovely, lovely love. Kukumelos, you were wondering, how do you use Japa mala, the things in my hand? They are our timer for our meditation. Back in the day, before pocket watches and alarm clocks existed, what one would do is they'd wear this around their wrist or around their neck, and they'd take it off whenever they wanted to meditate. There's 108 beads on each japa mala. Now for a meditation, what we do is we feel one bead at a time, and we associate that with some dynamic aspect of our meditation, like our breath. Maybe you want to do 108 breaths, or maybe 54 breaths, being each inhale and each exhale individually being a bead. There's lots of different ways which we can use this japa mala. We can use each bead to be one repetition of a mantra. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. And we just go one bead at a time, and you don't have to count it. You don't have to keep track of where you are, because you know that eventually you'll return to the guru bead. And the guru bead will tell you when to stop. You'll feel all the way around until, oh, that's a different feeling. Strung differently, has a tassel. It must be at the end. That means you've done 108 repetitions. And if you know basic arithmetic, then you can have a pretty good guess at how long you've been meditating. Let's say that you choose a mantra that is 5 seconds. Well, 5 times 108 is just over 500, which is just under 10 minutes, maybe 9, 8 minutes, something like that. Therefore, if you want to go for 20 minutes, you just do one more round. If you wanted to do half an hour, then you do 5 or 6 rounds. Wonderful. No technology required. No phone in sight. And the mala beads have physical significance too, which just empowers your meditation. 108 is the magic number for a few different reasons, most of them astrological. For example, you can fit 108 moons between the Earth and the Moon. So this is a really good physical demonstration of how many moons could fit in between the Earth and the Moon. You just look at this. If each one of these beads was a moon, you strung it out. Well, that's half the distance from the Earth to the Moon then. Or you could consider each of these beads like the Earth. And there's also that many that can fit between the Earth and across the diameter of the Sun. Sun is so big. How big? Well, if each of these were an Earth, this would be half the diameter of the Sun. Or you could think of each bead as the Sun. This is how many suns can fit in between the Earth and the Sun. You want to know how far away the Sun is, but how big it is too? Well, this can give you a good idea for that too. So 108 Earths can fit across the diameter of the sun. 108 suns can fit between us and the sun. 108 moons can fit in between Earth and the moon. But we don't just stop there. In astrology, there are 9 celestial bodies of importance and 12 constellations. Therefore, every planet or every celestial body has a unique effect in each constellation. Thus, the sum total of all astrological effects is 9 times 12, 108. So each mala bead also represents overcoming one astrological influence. Not only that, it's said that there are 108 chakras within the body. You know of 7 main ones, but there are many more. It's said that there are 108 ways to use our body to reach enlightenment. Not only that, but 108 is a highly divisible number. 108 is a hyperfactorial, being the product of the first 3 tetrations. 1 to the 1, times 2 to the 2, times 3 to the 3. So you can divide it into halves, into quarters, into thirds, into ninths, into 27ths, into 12ths, into 6ths, into 54ths. That's pretty handy. Those are some of the reasons why 108 is considered an auspicious number. And not just in Hinduism, in many religions. Buddhism, Sikhism, Jainism too. Thank you, dear Susan, for your cloud bread too. Radhe, Radhe. And dear Mama JJ, you're wondering why 108 does that? That's a good question. I would say it's probably because of the fact that it's 1 to the 1 times 2 to the 2 times 3 to the 3. Just a product of nice small numbers, 2s and 3s, making up its prime factorization. So many things in this universe can be described in terms of dualities and trinities. So it's a duality of dualities of trinities of trinities of trinities. 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. Lots of symbolism we can extract out of that. Dear JV, you ask, how can an isolated person stop feeling lonely and find inner peace? Interestingly enough, isolation can sometimes be a challenge to find inner peace, which in some sense is funny, because to find inner peace means that we don't need any external surrounding. We go within. That sounds like an isolating experience. However, when we say go within, you might picture closing your eyes. Imagine withdrawing your sense of sight from the world sense of sound, sense of touch, sense of taste, sense of smell, and physically going in some inward direction away from that which is around you. But that kind of visualization implies that yourself is over here. But the great sages have been saying that the self within you is the self within all. Therefore, that self can be found everywhere, within everything. We don't need to isolate from the external world, because the external world is a part of our internal world. We can go within our experience, and that includes finding ourselves within the people and places in our life too, within the moment rather than away from the moment. We go within by seeing the potential that's within everything, including people, places, etc. We find the peace that's possible, and we do our best to bring that out. Within each moment, there is a capacity for peace. How can we take that observation and bring it out? We go within to find the potential, and then we go without to express it. And it's in that round trip that we feel the cycle of peace. Peace flows from within to without. So if the peace is inside, then we have to externalize it. Fallen angel, you're wondering how often do I eat? Usually once at night, after my live stream. Usually around just before midnight, I have my meal of the day. And I fast from the time I wake up to 10 or 11 or 12 night. Fallen angel, you were also wondering, what causes emotional numbness? How can feel dormant emotions that we've buried? How can we feel dormant emotions that we've buried? Well, we ask ourselves, are we ready for that? We have to be honest too. Honesty means that if we're not in a good place in our life to bring those things up, then that's okay. We don't all have to be unpacking our drama at this very moment. We can wait until the time is right for that. At the same time, there isn't ever really going to be a time where the stars align and it's the perfect moment to experience these deep-seated impressions again without some kind of conflict. It's going to be an uncomfortable experience, and so we have to be willing to go through that discomfort. But meditation is a great way to do that. And ironically, that's the reason why people don't meditate, is because so many thoughts come to mind. We feel like we're terrible meditators, that every time I meditate, anxiety comes up, or depressing thoughts, or traumatic events. But that's a very real purpose of meditation, is to provide yourself space to open up to these thoughts that have been dormant, these feelings that have been hiding, these experiences that have been repressed, oppressed, or suppressed, or any other kind of pressing matter. with that requires a lot of trust and a lot of vulnerability too. And thank you, dear Ushabai, for your flowers too. Hari Om Tat Sat. Dear Mama JJ, you shared that your husband eats 3,800 to 4,500 calories a day, and he is 6 foot and 170 pounds, over 55 years old. Fallen Angel, you asked that question, how many calories do I get in daily? You think that 2,500 calories average is a myth? I have no idea. I don't count my calories. I just try to listen to my body. Bodies have been historically pretty good at telling us what we're deficient in. We just have to be able to distinguish between our gut and our brain. Because our brain sometimes says, oh, we want dopamine. I don't care how healthy this is. Give me the chocolate cake. But if you can listen to your gut, you know, your gut will tell you. You need something sweet. This means that you need some fruit. Need something savory. I mean, you probably need some protein. If you need something, if you're craving something salty, well, I don't have to tell you what that means. You probably need some salt, of course. If you're thirsty, it means you need some liquid in your body. And having a doctor that can provide blood tests is really helpful too. I'm very grateful for my doctor. She's really big on testing for any vitamins that I'm missing. Right away. Thank you, Diana, for your rosa. Hare Krishna. And Kamshaft, you relate that we don't realize how much we repress until you start meditating. Good to take our time with it, absolutely. Fallen Angel, you're wondering if I've ever heard my own voice mock me while meditating? Can't say I've had any sort of auditory experiences like that, but I can say that the voice of the mind can certainly be negative. And that can be a good challenge. It's good to befriend the mind. Mind can be our worst enemy, but also our best friend too. Aliax, you're wondering if I've astral traveled. Well, I dream every night. And that's the extent of my astral travel. Dear Kukumelos, you are wondering, do I recognize having a clear mission or purpose? I think what's clear to me is that the purpose of life is the one that we give it, based on the experiences we've had. Over time, it gets very messy. What I see for myself in the future, I'll worry about later. In this moment, all I know is that the future takes care of itself if I attend to it with kindness, honesty, humility, with a kind of openness. If I'm here to embrace what is fully, then my unconditional acceptance is the most meaningful thing to me in that moment. Dear JV, you're wondering, how long do I typically meditate for? If you're thinking about times that I sit down, close my eyes, put my hands on my lap, focus on my breathing, that is 0. 0 hours, 0 minutes, 0 seconds. But if you consider meditation more than that, then I meditate from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, because I try to make my day into a meditation. Kind of meditation called Rupa Dhyan. Meditation with form. We meditate on the moment. We meditate on what we have to do. We meditate on ourself pursuing that goal. We meditate in the action. That's Karma Yoga, the yoga of our action. Or when you ask, how do you let go of a toxic love? By valuing your self-worth and knowing that all you have to give to this world is something that requires a loving environment, healthy connections, and room for personal growth. You deserve that. But we may be attached to the potential we see in someone. We say to ourselves, if we could just help them, then maybe they'd be kinder to us in return. If we could just show them a little more love, maybe our boundaries might be respected too. However, we're gambling with something that's not our control, because that's their choice. We can provide them with a space to change, but we can never get them to change. We can be grateful for the experience we've had and love them enough to let them go so that they may find independence. If they depend on you for something that they should be finding within themselves, then that's their journey that they should be embarking on. We have to love them enough to give them that space so that they may discover their independence, which means setting boundaries of our own. You know, there's so much pressure in our society to find the one true lover. Maybe you call it soulmate, maybe you call it twin flame. But the danger is that then we get attached to the idea that anyone should be in our lives forever. And that potential is something we have a hard time unattaching from. But it could very well be the case that everyone in life comes and goes. And the real soulmate is the love we have for each person, one at a time. Each person has a flame of their own which may dance in tandem with ours. But we go on in our journey and we let them go on in their journey too. Which means that we value each experience we have. That it's okay if this person wasn't the one. That doesn't invalidate the experience that you had with them. And we can find value in the preciousness of the journey that we did share. And maybe one day it'll cross paths again. And I think a funny way of using the word one is in the sense that we're all one. One love. So every partner is the one. Since everyone is part of that one. That's why the word one is in everyone, isn't it? I just noticed that. Thank you, Kali, for your heart meal. Om Namah Shivaya. And Sakura, you asked what the difference is between soulmate and twin flame. I don't have a model of them for you, truly. I find that love is fluidic, it's always transforming, and we all share the same super soul. And that super soul, which we all exist within, is our true beloved. Hello, Marlon, you're still awake. Well, sounds like you might be fighting sleep, if you have to point that out. I'm still awake. You can fall asleep if you want to. Dear Mama JJ, you're wondering if I can speak more about the purpose of life. I don't know about the purpose of tomorrow. I don't know about the purpose of the past. But I know that the purpose of today is in learning from the past to make a better tomorrow. How's that? That the most meaning that I find, not something that's been lost to time or discoverable later, it's in the simplicity of using all that we have experienced up until this moment in the hopes of bringing out more possibilities in the next. And so in each moment, all I ever have to feel like I should worry about is this. Right now, for me, it means being able to relate with your experience, reminding myself of kindness, compassion, patience, learning from the potential that I see reflected in each one before me, and helping to maintain a space in which we all can find our growth. That to me is the most purposeful. In an hour from now, what's going to be the most purposeful is giving myself some food, some nutrition, taking care of this body. Many hours from now, what's going to be purposeful for me is diving into my subconscious and dreams, finding a state of rest in the unconscious. Each moment has its own purpose for the task at hand. I have found that attending to that, nature unfolds itself before our very eyes. Opportunities arise without worry of the future. Thank you, Dhyana, for another rosa. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome, Vladislav. And Vanessa, thank you for your rose. Radhe, Radhe. Dear Mama JJ, you wonder why so many of us fight sleep. We're just like little kids. Most kids hate going to sleep. The value of sleep is so important. It's just hard to recognize when we also realize the value of our day. And kids are so good at that. We want to stay up, we want to contribute more to the world, and that's so lovely. But in the ways which we can, requires a vehicle. Our vehicle is our body. And you can't expect to keep a car's engine running 24/7. It needs time to rest. The engine of our brain also needs time to rest, so that it can take us where we need to go the next. Namaste, dear Kali. Thank you. Om Kring Kalikaye Namaha. And Myra, you share. That changes the older one gets. Then it's all about sleep. Then we can't get enough of it. We're so excited to go back into our bed. Thank you, Diana, for your bubble tea too. Jai Sitaram. Welcome back, all three admin soul. Our branch, you're wondering, what's the most influential text that I've read on my path? Well, at the moment, it's reading your comment. The most influential thing always exists right now, in the form in which it comes to us. Right now, dear Star Branch, you are influencing me in the most inspiring way to deliver a subtle point in a self-referential way. And hello, Chance. Marlon, you share that during sleep, our bodies have time to relax and heal if necessary. Indubitably. And dear Mama JJ, you share the trick that I shared a long time ago of counting each breath to 8 or 10 and start over helps so much. I'm so happy to hear that you remembered that. It was a while since I shared that. One inhale, 2 exhale, 3 inhale, 4 exhale. And if we ever lose track, we can just start at 1 again. Slowly we lose sense of time, amidst counting our breaths, and fall into slumber. We are coming up to, well, it's already just hit 10 p.m. for me, so a good time for me to start thinking about wrapping things up for tonight. I would love to go through a few things with you before we do go. The first of which being reflecting back my question of the day, which I asked at the beginning and I'd like to ask again. Hello, dear Chödrön. Today I ask of you all a simple but needed question. Where is love needed the most? They say to give our love freely, everywhere. But amidst that, where's the best place to start? Akira, you share broken souls. That's a very poetic answer. And the meaning of that is certainly conveyed. But technically, I'd like to remind everyone that a soul can never truly be broken. It is late for many people too. Diana, you share that love needed the most is within you. Very clever answer that is. Fallen Angel, you share, when we look into the mirror. That's beautifully put. Thank you for that. Inside shares inevitable. To oneself, perhaps, shares dear Mama JJ. Start with our own selves, shares Marlon. Izzy, you share where it isn't. I like that inquiry. Star Branch, you share, it starts with us. Anna, you share children. And with the theme of previous answers, I could add to that our inner child too. Chance, you share at the start of every new journey. User 224, you share maybe against reactive people who are not responding to you but to their internal problems. Love that answer. Diana, you share, when you love yourself, you can offer others love from the overflow. How beautiful. And it's Humphrey, you share, to the least loving person around you. Scrooge needs a little love too, doesn't he? It's true. Of course, in a way that respects our boundaries and their capacity to receive that love too. Beautiful. Fallen Angel, you say, this TikTok live. Lots of love to go around here, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you. And Strawberry Star Bunny, you share, you think ourselves first, then extend out more love around the fear in ourselves too. That's an excellent addition. Dear Mama JJ, you share, love ourselves, love the earth, the water, the soil, the air. And Aaron, you express a wish to be calm and relaxed in relation to your kind of high energy. I believe this is possible for you. May your wish be so. These are all beautiful answers, everyone. Thank you for sharing them with me and with everyone here. I hope that we can take the truth in each of our perspectives and use that to enhance our own. Thank you. Matthew, you shared that in every moment one feels defeated. Love the tunes in the back. That's very interesting. I've never heard that before. Right, I'm very grateful that we got to explore that together. Thank you. Paused our question of the day there for now. But not before I would like to do some reading with you. I'm just keeping an eye out for the time. At 10:30 for me in 24 minutes, my alarm is gonna go off. Like the time that in between when we stop reading and when we start our final meditation. So maybe we can do a couple different readings until 10:30. Why don't we start with a poem by Rumi? We can crack open the pocket Rumi to explore another poem. Where's G to Infinity? Fall asleep. I know she loves Rumi. There, I found a poem for us to read. No, I'm happy you love the tunes in the back of this live stream, Matthew. Let's read this poem by the Sufi mystic Rumi called Losing the Way. What wisdom was this, that the object of all desire caused me to leave my home joyously on a fool's errand, so that I was actually rushing to lose the way, and at each moment being taken farther from what I sought. And then the divine, in that beneficence, made that very wandering the means of my reaching the right road and finding wealth. That divine makes losing the way a way to true faith. That divine makes going astray a field for the harvest of righteousness, so that no righteous one may be without fear, and no traitor may be without hope. The gracious one has put the antidote in the poison, so that they may say that that divine is the Lord of hidden grace. Thank you for listening. Hey Kate, you were wondering, What's my advice for overthinking? I call it the solemn vow to not hurt again as the cause for overthinking. You may notice the next time you get yourself into trouble, next time you hurt yourself or others, or that others hurt you, the next time there is hurt, there is pain, we make the solemn vow to not hurt again. What we say to ourselves is that this is an experience I would not like to have again. How can I be aware of other possibilities so that I do not find myself trapped again? So far, so good. Nothing wrong with that. But then we make the mistake to correlate awareness with thought. That to be more aware of something means to think more about it, when the reverse is what is true. You think so much because you told yourself that you would. You made a vow that you'd think about all the dangers that could be lurking so that we don't hurt again. But we've forgotten that the way to be aware of the possibility beyond is to just be entirely present. It is from our awareness that thoughts begin, and not from thoughts that awareness begins. Just as the solipsists might use the truth that I think, therefore I am, to imply that the thinking is the foundation of their being. Not true. Being is the foundation of our thinking. If one can be fully present, then our thoughts become present also, lest we think about the past in our memory or the future in our imagination. We tell ourselves that we don't have to analyze everything that comes and goes of our experience. We don't have to constantly be giving name and form to every sound, every feeling, every interaction. We can just be. Yes, that's a vulnerable way of being. But it's only in that vulnerable state does our mind subside. As we open on the spiritual path, we become more and more sensitive. We lose track of all the things which we were previously attempting to keep track of, and there become so many moving parts of life that we have to let go. We can no longer figure it all out. And we find the bliss of giving up. Not giving in to fear, giving up the fear, so that we may constantly be looking up to that which we give. I'm playing with my words here, but still, we find a place in this moment where we can be grateful for it. Some allowance of vulnerability without need to dissect it. I like what Anna said. We are anxious about the plot. Let's just take it one step at a time. I couldn't have said it better. I've certainly related with that, dear fallen angel. Idea that the self within you is the same self within everyone can be interpreted in various ways, and some of them in scary ways. There is just one consciousness. You might worry that that means that everyone is just a figment of your imagination, or that there really is no other being outside of yourself. There are ways of seeing that produce a lot of fear, but that fear also comes from a misinterpretation. When we say that the self within you is one with the self within everyone else, what we mean to say is that we're interdependent and interrelated. And that the I am consciousness is an experience that you can relate with, because the essence of your being is comprised of all the same stuff, kind of spacious awareness that everyone else has too. But we are definitely different humans. We have different minds. And the light that's reflected in my mind producing this consciousness is a different part of that unified source than yours. But it all comes from the same place, and together we are one. Having an expanded sense of consciousness just means an inclusive sense of self, where we serve our bodies, our mind, in the same way that we serve others too. We recognize that the suffering they experience is a kind of suffering that we can relate with, and the kind of happiness that we experience is a kind of happiness that they can relate with too. And I love your addition, Strawberry Star Bunny. We are each a puzzle piece of the whole. Beautifully articulated too. I hope all beings reach Nirvana before me. That was the vow of the Buddha. The moment before enlightenment, the Buddha realized it would be selfish for me to reach Nirvana when there are so many others that are suffering in this samsara. Therefore, the Bodhisattva vow is this, that we guide all others to Nirvana before our own. Dear fallen angel, you ask, my ability to express in language evolve with realizations? Of course. Language is an evolving experience for each of us. I should hope that tomorrow I phrase myself in newer and newer ways. Because every day a new face of eternity reveals itself to me, and thus I must adapt to greet it so. Everyone deserves to reach Nirvana. To think otherwise would mean to believe that we don't recognize the value that every soul has. Namaste. all beings have the same potential within them. Now, let's turn to our final reading of the night. Another section from The Hidden Power in Humans, Chakras and Kundalini. Here I'm going to read through 2 meditations. These meditations are for the Vishuddhi Chakra, our throat center, and then we'll end with the meditation of our own. The second meditation of the Vishuddhi Chakra begins like this, and you're welcome to replay the recording of this if you wanted to get the full use out of it. Sit in a comfortable position, upright meditation pose. Perform Jalandhara Bandha like we did in the previous meditation. And at the same time roll the tongue backwards so that it touches the soft part of the palate. That's called Khechari Mudra. Breathe a little deeper than normal. Connect the inhalation with the mantra So, and the exhalation with the mantra Hum, which by itself is the bija syllable for the throat. Together, So, Hum means that I am that, or that am I am that. If the position of the tongue becomes uncomfortable, relax it for a while, then again assume Khechari Mudra. Continue to repeat the mantra, So, Hum. Your body remains completely relaxed. Now, ask yourself inwardly, what desires and illusions remain unfulfilled in your life? What injuries and disappointments do you permanently carry with you? What do you want? What are you seeking? On the other hand, be aware of what joy, beauty, peace, happiness, harmony, balance, warmth, and security exist within your inner self. Have you found what you're looking for? Do you know where you belong? Analyze yourself. Be an observer of your inner world. Allow everything to come. By the power of your breath in the Vishuddhi Chakra and the mantra, you purify all thoughts and emotions. After about 10 minutes, release Jalandhara Bandha and relax the Vishuddhi Chakra. Leave your eyes closed, relax your abdomen, shoulders, arms, and jaw, and dive anew into the inner field of your life. Discover your inner reality. Do not run away or evade the issue. How long have you been trying to escape your inner truth? Be clear, honest, and open with yourself. There is certainly a solution to anything unpleasant you push aside. And for sure, there is also a possibility that beautiful and happy feelings can unfold within you, and you can transfer these to others. Inhale and exhale deeply. Sing Om 3 times and the peace mantra, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Rub the palms of your hands together. Place your hands on your face and warm your eyes and face muscles. That's the second meditation. Open your eyes, fold your hands in front of your chest, and bend forward until your forehead touches the floor. Now, the third meditation is the last one. I'm going to read a little faster for this one. Sit in a comfortable meditation position. Close your eyes and slowly withdraw from the outer world. Do not concentrate or have any expectations. Relax. Feel you are protected, safe, and well. Now direct your attention to your body. Be conscious of your mental and physical presence in the room. Remain here and simply be an observer. Do not allow yourself to be carried away by your thoughts. Feel your whole body from the toes to the top of the head, and from the head to the toes. Be aware of the motionlessness of your body. Relax. Now direct your attention to the process of breathing. Allow the breath to flow completely naturally. Be aware of each inhalation and exhalation. Feel the breath flowing through the nose and the throat. Feel happy that you are able to breathe freely. Visualize the breath as a fine thread of light, a thread of divine energy, a ray of light that leads you to your source. In the breath flows the energy of the Divine Mother who nourishes your soul. Through your breath you are constantly connected to the Divine on the physical level. You inhale fresh energy and vitality and exhale used energy and toxic substances. Expand your consciousness into infinity. See your inner space filled with rays or sparks of light. These rays and sparks of cosmic energy, Prana Shakti, are constantly drawn into your heart center. Your breath is now slightly deeper than normal. You inhale and exhale rays of light. You are the center through which the light of life flows without interruption. Your inner world exists in the space of your heart. Rudraksha. Here is the world of your feelings. Here your past and present consciousness meet in order to prepare the path for the future. How do you wish your future to be? Where do you want to go? What have you done towards this up until now? Now allow your consciousness to rise from the Anahata Chakra, from the heart to the Vishuddhi Chakra, the throat. Place the index, middle, and ring finger softly between the collarbones, where your throat begins. Bend your head forward slightly and feel how the energy, the light, streams into the Vishuddhi Chakra and continues to flow into infinity. Your inner space is infinite. You begin to free yourself. This disengagement can be experienced as pleasant, but also as unpleasant and painful. Sometimes we experience it as beneficial, but sometimes as loss and painful renunciation. Why does renunciation often make us unhappy? Because we are unable to let go. It is our attachment that creates unhappiness and pain. However, where beautiful and positive feelings of love, devotion, and clarity prevail, there flows bliss, ananda. In your inner space, experience the purification of the Vishuddhi Chakra. Place your whole palm on your chest. Visualize your hand radiating divine power and love. It protects you and gives you inner warmth. The radiation of your hand has an activating influence on the Vishuddhi Chakra, and at the same time quietens the emotions in the Anahata Chakra. Do not allow yourself to be swept away by the emotions, but experience them with full consciousness. Feel the touch and warmth of your hand and allow the energy to flow into you. Be honest with yourself and examine the problems that are now confronting you. Try to gain clarity about it, about what disturbs you, and about what you are able to change in your life. Do not run away, but stay in your inner space. Everything that happens is within you. And the solution for your problems you will also find within yourself. I almost beat the time. Trying to get that reading before my alarm went off. Done. But alas. Continue this exercise for about 15 minutes. Feel yourself totally free and pure. Inhale and exhale purity, and feel how the entire atmosphere around you is purified. Now, come slowly into contact with the outer world again. Inhale and exhale deeply once, and move your body. Then sit on your heels and come to Shashankasana, inhaling as you stretch your arms above your head, and exhaling as you bend the body forward until the arms and head touch the floor. Continue to breathe normally and remain in this position for as long as is comfortable to you. This asana calms the mind and helps clarify the thoughts. That's the third meditation that one can do for the Vishuddhi Chakra. And if you're listening to the recording once I post it, then please feel free to listen to it a sentence or two at a time, pausing after each step that you feel adjusted to. That, I think, is how we can turn this into a meditation for viewers listening in the future. There's a beautiful picture of, I believe, the Guru who wrote this book, His Holiness Paramahans Swami Madhavananda Ji, which has come at the end of this chapter. So you can take a moment to be thankful that this Guru sent his love to the Guru that wrote this book, and the Guru that wrote this book sent their love to dear Ushabai, who sent it to me for us to read, and through that love I wish to give it to you too. Thank you for listening. Next time we'll talk about the Ajna Chakra. Difficult to pronounce, but that refers to our eyebrow center, our third eye. So I hope you join me in listening to that next time. Namaste. And with that, we'll end our live stream with a meditation. Thank you for you being here, everyone, and the love that gets shared amidst I'd like to end with a meditation to bring this live stream to a conclusion, resolution. We'll reveal what the mantra is that I'd like to chant with you. So for our meditation, I'd like to chant today, maybe in memory of this question of the day that I asked earlier, but I meant to reveal Om Brahm Bhairvaya Namo Namaha. I'll turn down the background music so we can chant it without worrying about being in dissonance. This mantra means Om, inviting in the cause of existence, creation, preservation, destruction, by the name Om. Brahm is a very personalized bija mantra, just as Om is a bija mantra, but more general. Brahm is specifically for a form of the divine known as Bhairava. Bhairava being the fierce form of Shiva, which represents the lap of creation, the oblivion in which everything returns to, especially our karmas, our ignorance, our vices, everything that we can dissolve in this moment. I hope that as we chant it together, you feel these things finding dissolution by the power of Bhairava's Shakti energy. The ending of Bhairava, Ya, means to, as a dative form. Namo Namaha is actually the same word twice. Namaha has a very interesting sound at the end, which is an expulsion of breath. And when it's before a voiced sound, it turns into the labioguttural vowel O. Namo Namaha. But it means salutations, salutations. And in this case, to Bhairava, the fierce form of Shiva, which we are invoking through the sacred sound Brahm and Om. For some extra clarification, since Monessa would like some concerning Shiva. Shiva is the form of the divine which is all about coming to rest. It is said that since endless lifetimes we have been so active trying to find ourselves. Shiva is the one that leads us to our destination, which is the very source of our being within, the consciousness, and we lay to rest everything that exists within it, including our mind, our body, and our world. We find it all dissolve into consciousness through the power of Shiva. Just in case some people can't see it, thank you, Marlon. I will make it a little smaller and put it there, above my head. I hope that's better for you. Anyway, Sanskrit is traditionally an oral tradition as the language of this mantra, and that means worry less so about the spelling as the sounds that you hear, which do often sound different than the spelling, especially in the Latin alphabet alone. Om Brahm Bhairvaya Namo Namaha. 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 Om Brahm Namaha. Om Bhram Bhairvaya Namo 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 Namaha. Om Bhram Om Brahm Bhairvai Namo Namah. 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 Bhairvai Namo Namah. Om Ram Bhairvai Namo Namaha. Om Ram Bhairvai Namo Namah. 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 Om. Om. O Mother Earth, may all excess energy go to you. May you take all the energy that I have to give to thee and use it for the creation, the preservation, and the destruction of all that which needs. Years ago, on my walk home from a night shift to work at Staples, stocking shelves from 9 at night to 5 in the morning. I had a 9 to 5 job, but the other 9 to 5. When I was done, it would take 2 hours for the bus to come. And incidentally, it took 2 hours to walk home. So I decided to walk home instead of waiting for the bus. One night or morning, depending on your perspective, I ventured into a forest that was on my walk home, and I sat on top of a rock. There was a magazine that was sitting on top there, and the name of the magazine was Union. And that struck me as miraculous because I had just learned in the yoga podcast I was listening to while working that yoga translates to union, if there had to be an equivalent English word. So here on this mount was the perfect place to find some sort of union, to practice yoga. So I did some meditation. I was chanting Om and focusing on my breath, and I felt a surge of energy come through my body. It was unlike anything I had experienced before, and it overwhelmed me. I started crying, and it really scared me because my hands started to freeze up, and they would freeze up in these mudras, in these positions where, you know, my fingers would be moving between each other. And I thought that I had given myself some sort of physical disability, but I later learned that spontaneous mudras are a sign of the Shakti, the Prana, and the Kundalini moving through the body. Anyway, that was the day that I phoned my mother. And I cried and I told her that she had been right, because I had been in a kind of conflict with my mother for my whole life, where I was very scientifically minded and I didn't believe anything spiritual. And I cried and told her that it's all true. Everything that she believes in. I cried and I told her that she's right. And I apologized for being so stubborn for most of my life and not being sensitive to that thing. Anyway, I wanted to tell you that story because the same thing happened while we were chanting near the end of that round, that I felt that energy move through my body again, which is very rare for me. Not always does a mantra do that. And I felt my hands form into mudras again. Anyway. Very auspicious energy we have in this space. I forgot to mention as well that we were chanting on Rudraksha beads, which are for Shiva. Just like how Bhairava is another epithet for Shiva, so is Rudra. These are known as the tears of Rudra. I believe they actually come from some fruit. They are the seed stones. They solidify and become stone-like, like rocks. They come in various sizes and shapes. Salutations to the auspicious one. Thank you for chanting along with me. Namaste. With that, I will bring our live stream to a close. I hope that you all have a beautiful rest of your your day, whether it's your night or evening, afternoon or morning. Hello, dear Amber. Hello, everyone who had come during the end. Hello and goodbye. Hello, dear Jhana and Markamis. Hari Bol. Namaste, Hari. Namaste, Mariham. I wanted to thank those who sent a gift while we were chanting too. Dear Anna Poles, thank you for your TikTok and your quartet of roses too. Hari Om Tat Sat. Cookie, thank you for your rose. Om Dum Dargaye Namaha. Mundane human things, thank you for your heart me. Jai Sitaram. And Allison, thank you for your heart me. And a pair of 10 team bracelets each. A trio of them, in fact. Thank you for that. Radhe Radhe. Dear Shakira. Shakipu. Thank you for your heart me too. Namaskaram. And thank you, Leah, for your quartet of roses. Om Ganganapataye Namaha. And Starlight, wow, thank you for your flowers. Om Aing Sarasvatyai Swaha Namaha. The recording of this live stream will be uploaded to my Yamsox Lives YouTube channel in case you ever wanted to get the benefit of watching a live stream atemporally. You gain magical powers over me. You can shut me up at any time by pressing pause. You can even get me to repeat myself as many times as you want by replaying. And you can get me to skip to the point by going forward. And you have a much bigger comment space to express yourself there, as well as a description that has a chapter system for you to click on exactly which segment you want to, down to the minute. And in dedicated playlists on the same channel, there are the meditations that we do, clipped, as well as the readings in case you wanted, a free audiobook experience, albeit a little impromptu since it's live and I make mistakes, but they're all there for you. And thank you for my guests who are watching in the future. It's fun to think that as we talk about them, someone is just getting to the end of that recording. So hello from the past to you in the future. Now with that, I would like to say goodbye. You know what I love about the word goodbye in many languages, that it often relates to the divine in some way. In Spanish, we say adios, which means to a Dios, the divine. Many other languages have similar ones, like French. We bid adieu, same exact phrase, adieu, to God. And in English, actually, we also have this, but it has changed over time. We used to say, God be with you, but it became slurred to the point where we say, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Eventually became goodbye. At one point it was, God be with you, goodbye. With that, I wish the divine has had an enjoyable experience thus far, given that this live stream is an offering to the divinity within you. Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, murtyorma amritangamaya. Om shanti, shanti. Om. Lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you, dear Starlight Wow, for the flowers, and Allison for another 10 team bracelets as we sign off tonight. Very kind of you. You all have a wonderful rest of your present moment. Namaste.